An old guy once told me the wisest men don't make assumptions, which is good advice since most assumptions and preconceptions are often founded on a lack of knowledge. But despite me accepting this, I still carried a notion of how the Mini Cooper would be like to drive. So when I finally got the chance to deal with the real thing, my view of the Mini became one of conflict.
Kind of has some get up and go, but kind of doesn't. Like, it definitely,
It tries.
Yeah, it tries.
There we go. Oh, yeah. That bogs down. You can't just, dump the clutch. If you dump the clutch, it just...
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it's what
It
happens.
has its own, personality.
Yeah. But the steering, I really like
You
the
like
steering.
it?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's different. Yeah, I can turn, the sport mode off, and you can feel a bit of a difference.
It feels a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Still, extremely responsive.
Yeah.
I was going from driving the Solara because it literally just drove the same route, and it was so. Oh man, the Solara does not like this kind of stuff. The Sequoia that I reviewed.
Yeah.
My mom's Sequoia.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a little bit better around corners, just because it was it's so stiff.
Yeah. Yeah. This definitely is stiff.
And this is stiff.
Yeah.
But it's also not 6,000 pounds. It's
Exactly.
only maybe 2,600. But despite the lack of weight, the Mini feels downright sluggish when pushing through hills. At only 115 horsepower, I wasn't expecting it to be quick at all, but what I was expecting was at least a predictable clutch and a rev-happy engine, but I got the opposite. The particular Mini that I drove was an absolute bitch to modulate when driving quickly. And if you aren't flawless, you end up burning the clutch or bogging the engine down as previously shown. Now, a mechanic did bring to my attention that the clutch may be on its last leg when I talked to him about it, so others may experience something different, but that still doesn't solve my gripe about how the engine isn't happy at the high end, which I believe a small car with an even smaller engine should want you to rev the hell out of it, but the Mini will only cooperate until 6,000 RPM. After that, it just kind of dies down. This aside, I have to talk steering. Just
wow.
It's f***ing great. The turn-in, the response, the steering angle, the feel, the weight. This is how cars were supposed to handle. The stiff suspension does sacrifice comfort, but it keeps it flat through corners, and the chassis felt neutral through every turn. It made me forget about any shortcomings the power plant may have, but not for long. When I was looking for cars, I did come across a few S models. The only reason why I didn't end up buying it was because I was just like, Toyota's reliable.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And it's just kind of expensive to repair.
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of things, obviously, since we bought it for $1,500, there are a lot of things, wrong with it, and it costed more than we paid for the car to get it fixed, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What things went wrong with it specifically?
Well, we've had to replace the water pump a ton of times. It keeps on breaking. The timing chain, we had to go to Mini Cooper to get them to fix it. It kept on breaking.
Usually they did have issues with those rattling.
Yeah, it has the rattle still
does?
even after. That's why the check engine light's on, is because of that.
Oh, okay. Because I felt some stuttering, and I was like, what is that? Because I didn't let off the clutch at all. Reliability. It's the difference between a great design and a great car. An automaker like Alfa Romeo can shock crowds with a gorgeous sedan that wins prestigious awards, but I would still never buy one. It's too expensive to keep up, and it'll depreciate worse than a used condom. Now, the Mini doesn't have depreciation issues, but it does have reliability problems, even with the base engine. Now, is it the least reliable car out there? No, nowhere close. But Do your research, and if you buy one, keep a rainy day fund, and don't forget the high cost of Mini repairs. I drove a Miata. That's what this feels most like. All that
I looked at Miatas before getting this. I kind of like those, but
why didn't you get a Miata?
Just because that's 2 seats. I'm always driving people, so.
Does this really have 4 seats though? Yeah, because I was gonna say the Miata and the Mini both kind of have the same too feminine.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I like this. I really like the Miata.
Yeah.
That first gen one. So I can't say that it's a bad thing. I feel like enthusiasts, actual enthusiasts, not just your vape bros.
Exactly.
I think those people will appreciate a car like this. The enthusiasts have more than loved on little roadsters. And although the Mini isn't praised as much as the Mazda, it's still common knowledge that it's a fun car. But like I mentioned in the beginning, I thought I knew how this car would behave, and I was wrong for the most part. See, I thought it was going to be a Miata with a back seat and the practicality of front-wheel drive, and even thought that during this drive, but it took a minute of reflection for me to realize that this was a huge generalization. The Mazda and Mini have completely different souls. The Mazda likes to rev, its clutch and transmission feel like an extension of the driver, and it's willing to be pushed for years and years with little argument. The Mini is more an idea. What if we made a subcompact economy car with unique aesthetics and exceptional handling? Now, when I say it looks different, I don't even necessarily mean the outside. The interior is probably my favorite of any small car. It's fun, the seats are comfortable and hold the occupants tight, all the panels line up impeccably, and it's visually appealing. Overall, it's an experience driving a Mini. But if you come into it with a Miata mindset, you'll leave wanting something more. That being said, if the Miata is a better car to drive and there's a host of other cars that are more practical, why would somebody buy a Mini Cooper? Why did you purchase it? What made you want to buy this? Because I know that you wanted one specifically.
I don't know, I just liked how I like the looks of it. It's definitely the inside, the speedometer, I think is definitely the one thing that drew me to it. And I just like how small it is, and it was fairly cheap for a foreign car. It definitely wasn't that much.
Would you recommend it?
Yes, I would definitely.
You definitely recommend it?
Yeah, 100%.
And especially for $1,500.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad. It's not a bad car, but is it for me? No. Like the owner said, it was the looks that made him want it. The driving dynamics were just a bonus to him, and he was willing to pay the money to fix it up. Therefore, his recommendation means a lot. He dealt with the issues, and he still holds a high opinion of the little hatchback. So if you want to have the standout interior, nostalgic styling, and exceptional handling, then the 2007 Mini Cooper gets the green light for me. If all you want is practicality and performance, go buy a Civic Si and I'll see you in the next one.